All right, guys. So with the Dow fluctuating, stocks are going up and down. Inflation's rising, so cost of living is going up. And right now, they're still talking about the interest rates climbing. And the question that we have right now is, should I pay off my house? So should I cash out my 401k, my stocks, and pay off my house? Or should I continue to invest? And so today we're going to look at that. Let's go to the whiteboard. We're going to break it down. Very simple. We're going to use round numbers, hopefully, and then you can take it and use it. And before I get to the whiteboard, I just want to say thanks to all of our new subscribers. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know what you think about these videos that we're doing. If you genuinely like this video, please give us a thumbs up. All right, guys, let's go to the whiteboard. We're going to put two people up here. First guy, we're just going to call him Sam. Second guy over here is going to be Bob. So what we're assuming right here is both of these guys have a mortgage of $400,000 at a 4% interest rate. Your principal and interest payment right there is going to be roughly about $1,900 based on these two factors. So this is what we're going to assume. So Sam over here, he's not afraid of a little bit of risk, but this guy right here, Bob, he is not really risk tolerant. He likes to be a little bit more on the safe side. Bob is also a saver. He doesn't like to invest in stocks. He doesn't like to do any of that. And over here, Sam, he's an investor. So he likes to invest. He's actively investing. And whether that's through stocks, whether that's through real estate, we're just going to assume that he's making about 6% per year on his investments. And so I'm just going to break it down to you with the numbers here. So if Bob were to pay off his house, let's say he had enough money in the savings, right? It's making 0.001%, maybe 0.1 if he's in a money marketing account, maybe even 1%. If Bob were to pay off his 30-year mortgage, this would save him roughly about $287,000 if you were to pay that off. So if you paid that off before the 30 years, let's say you paid off day one, bought the house cash, whatever, that's his savings, $287,000. Well, let's say Sam over here, he takes that $400,000. Instead of paying off his house, he throws it all into investments, and he's getting that annual percentage of 6%. The other thing that we're assuming about Sam is he's not putting any more money into this investment. All he's doing is he's investing it, and then it's going to compound and compound and compound and compound. So if Sam were to do that in 30 years, again, we're making a lot of assumptions here. You might make more than 6%. You might make less than 6% some years, but we're just assuming 6% on average. So in 30 years, Sam would have turned that $400,000 into $2.29 million. Just by investing that and getting that much return per year. So by Sam using somebody else's money, borrowing the money at the 4%, he actually is making a lot more money than Bob over here by investing it. But let's say Bob says, okay, I'll pay off my house, and then the mortgage payment that I'm going to be paying, I'm going to go ahead and throw that into stocks, or I'm going to throw it in some kind of investment that's going to get me an average of 6%. If Bob were to do that in 30 years, so he paid off his house, and now for 30 years he's just putting in the $1,900 right here, his principal and interest, because he's going to have taxes and insurance regardless. If he does that $1,900 every month for 30 years, and he doesn't eat the interest, right? He rolls the interest and just compounds it. He's going to make about $1.8 million. So if you add these two together, he's roughly in 30 years at $2 million and some change. So the question is, what should you do? Should you pay off your house and put all that money back into investment if you can make 6%? You know, right there you're looking at a difference of $300,000, but maybe Bob feels a little bit better at night because he can sleep. He doesn't have to worry about the roof over his head. where Sam sometimes has some sleepless nights because he doesn't know if the investment he's doing is going to go well, is not going well. And so the question is, who are you? Are you more risk tolerant, or you want to be more on the safe side? And if you're going to be more on the safe side, then obviously Bob is there. And I mean, when you're talking about $2 million, 300,000, you know, that's what, roughly eighth difference between these two. And so I'm kind of in the middle, right? I know Dave Ramsey really preaches, pay off all your debts, pay off all your debts, pay off all your debts. But sometimes there is an advantage of borrowing money and doing this, because who says Sam didn't buy some other investments on top of just investing his $400,000? And so if he's investment savvy, maybe he can, instead of the $400,000, maybe he did $400,000, you know, every 10 years, then that's a lot bigger number. So what are your thoughts? Are you more on the Bob side, or are you more like Sam? Or are you like me, where I'm right in the middle, right? I kind of wrestle back and forth with paying off our house or investing more. And right now the market is kind of tricky. So I want to know your thoughts. If you're just tuning to our channel for the first time, I just want to remind you that we are just normal people trying to figure this whole life out. I heard this analogy the other day. It's about a heartbeat, right? If the heartbeat is flowing, boom, 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 it's doing what it's supposed to do. But if it's shocked and it's just, you know, fluttering and it's just paralyzed. And so what we try to do is just bring these everyday events, everyday things that people kind of wrestle with every day, and try to, how do we navigate through them to keep us in a rhythm so we're not frozen and stuck. And so these are just average numbers. We're just pulling random numbers to make it simple so that you can try to do this in your own world with your own numbers.